회장님 안녕하십니까? 그 마이크로소프트라고 하면 한국에서는 창업자 빌 게이츠 고문이 잘 알려져 있습니다. 지난해 KBS와 단독 인터뷰도 했었고요. 먼저 브래드 스미스 부회장이 누군지 궁금한 분들을 위해서 인공지능에게 질문을 해봤습니다. 클라우드 서비스와 인공지능 분야에서 혁신적인 발전에 기여했고 사람 중심의 기업 문화를 중요시하는 지도자다. 어떻게 맞습니까? 아니면 뭐 틀리거나 보충할 것이 있을까요?
I won't complain.
만족하십니까?
Yes, I think I am.
혹시 덧붙이시고 싶은 내용이 있다면?
I think that in part my job at Microsoft is to take these complicated technology topics and to try to make them understandable to other people, to most of us who don't write code for a living, and to really think about what it means for society. And obviously that's a theme of broad importance right now.
한국 정부 또 기업들과 협력을 다지기 위해서 오셨다고 들었습니다. 챗GPT 같은 인공지능 부분에 집중하고 있다. 이렇게 이해하면 될까요?
I think every conversation here starts with AI. Ultimately, it takes us to ask questions like, what does AI mean for the future of jobs, for the skills people will need, for sustainability of the planet, for cybersecurity protection. But you're right, it all starts with AI.
네. 며칠 전에 뉴욕타임즈를 봤더니 이 삼성이 검색 엔진을 구글에서 마이크로소프트로 바꾸는 방안을 검토 중이라던데 이 삼성과 협의를 진행한 것이 있으신지 아니 이번에 뭐 다른 기업들을 만나신 일정이 있으신지 궁금합니다.
Not on this visit. I mean, that's obviously a decision that Samsung will make. But we really do believe that AI can make the whole search experience better. In a sense, we're still searching in 2023 about the same way we did 20 years ago. So if we can persuade Samsung or others to provide a better service to people, I think we would be delighted to do that.
그럼 한국 기업 관계자들과도 이번에 미팅이 있으셨는지?
I will be meeting with Korean companies tomorrow.
Tomorrow. 어떤 기업들인지 좀 여쭤봐도 될까요?
You certainly may ask. I'll leave it to them as to whether they want to talk about our meetings.
그 빌 게이츠 고문이 얼마 전에 인터뷰한 걸 보니까 챗GPT가 세상을 바꿀 거라고 얘기를 했더라고요. 뭐 인터넷, 스마트폰, 그 다음은 인공지능 세상이라는 건데 부회장님 생각에 인공지능, AI가 특히 어떤 부분에 획기적인 변화를 가져올 거라고 보십니까?
I think fundamentally AI is a remarkable new tool. It's a tool that really helps us think, learn, and create and express ourselves. In a sense, it's bringing to the world of knowledge and the world of knowledge work the ability to do more with the help of a computer. So I think it will have a profound impact on many of us for much of what we do. And I hope and I believe that it will be a tool that we can use to make the world a better place.
그런데 이제 불과 얼마 전까지만 해도 굉장히 주목을 받던 메타버스라는 게 있는데 이제 지금 관심이 사라졌습니다. 떠들썩하게 등장했던 신기술이 이제 얼마 못 가 사라지는 경우가 많은데 이번에는 좀 다를까요?
I think we're at an inflection point. I've worked in the tech sector for 30 years, and there's a few years that stand out. 2007 was the year the iPhone was invented, and that was the inflection point for mobility, for smartphones. 1995 was when the browser became very popular, and suddenly the internet exploded. I do think that 2023 is an inflection point for AI. We're seeing people use it. We're seeing people accomplish things that, frankly, a year ago they did not think was possible. So I do think this is different from what we've seen recently with the metaverse and the like.
네, 이제 30년간 이 업종에 종사를 하셨으니까 질문 드리겠습니다. MS가 인터넷 혁명을 주도를 했는데 그 다음 흐름, 이제 스마트폰 혁명에서는 조금 고전을 했습니다. 이건 왜라고 보시는지?
Nobody ever gets everything right all the time, especially when you're looking at decades of experience. I do think at Microsoft we have done better than most in succeeding in one generation and finding then a way to succeed in the next. Ultimately, I think if there's one thing we've learned, it really is about fostering innovation. And I think if you look at the Microsoft of 2023 or our partnership with a company like OpenAI, we are far more innovative than we were, say, 10 or 15 years ago. And I think that's a real strength. It's what we need to be successful. I think it's what the world needs from Microsoft if we're going to make a difference in the world.
네, 방금 얘기해 주셨지만 오픈 AI 이 챗GPT 개발 회사죠. 100억 달러 투자하셨습니다. 한국 돈으로는 뭐 13조 원이 넘는 엄청난 규모인데 AI를 통해서 이루려는 MS의 구체적인 목표 조금 더 설명을 해 주실 수 있을까요?
Microsoft is really focused with OpenAI on creating what we call the AI supercomputing infrastructure. We provide the technology on which OpenAI builds these models. And then we provide the data centers, including in Korea, so that people are accessing them. But I think our goal fundamentally is to take technology to a higher level so that it can be more useful for people. So people in their lives can learn more. Say businesses can pursue breakthroughs that they couldn't pursue before. Unless we're doing this in a way that actually enables other people to accomplish more, then I don't think we're really making a difference. It's not about technology for its own sake. It's about technology that actually enables humanity to accomplish more.
라이벌 얘기를 좀 해볼게요. 중국의 추격이 무섭습니다. 미국과 격차는 뭐 한두 달 정도라고 주장할 정도인데 부회장께서도 미국과 중국 사이의 격차가 갈수록 좁혀지고 있다고 경고한 적이 있습니다. 위협적이라고 느끼시는지 그렇다면 이유가 뭔지 궁금합니다.
I think we're involved in an ongoing race between different technology companies and even between countries. And China has invested heavily in the development of AI. The Beijing Academy of Artificial Intelligence is doing extremely well. So are companies like Baidu and now Alibaba. So I think on an ongoing basis, we're going to see different models. We're going to see AI probably evolve in slightly different directions. But the truth is, China is producing some remarkable technology. And in my view, every day, we need to keep moving quickly to produce remarkable technology as well.
근데 이제 인류의 지식이 영어로 기록된 것이 압도적이다 보니까 당연히 중국보다 미국이 유리하다 이런 해석도 있습니다. 어떻게 보시는지요?
I think that we, as a company like Microsoft, have an advantage actually in tapping into knowledge in many different languages. There is an enormous amount of, say, scientific knowledge in English, but one of the strengths I think we have is our involvement here in Korea. In every country around the world, knowledge is distributed in many languages, and in order to build a language model, that's what we're talking about with this new generation of AI in part. It really requires that we tap into knowledge in all of the different languages in which it's recorded. And that is something we know how to do.
경쟁에서 우위를 점하고 있다는 걸 별로 인정을 안 하시는 것 같은데요.
If there's one thing I've learned in 30 years in technology, always be humble. Focus on how you can get better every day. Never assume that you have the upper hand. Always assume that if you stop working hard, someone else will have the upper hand while you take the day off.
Yeah.
So I'll never say we have the upper hand. I will say we're in a good position and we need to keep working to sustain that.
Yeah, good point. 그럼 여기서 질문을 넣으면 이제 답을 해주는 AI에게 인공지능 기술에 대해서 몇 가지 물어봤습니다. 먼저 기술의 시대는 인류를 도울 것인가 아니면 위협할 것인가? 그랬더니 답이 인류에게 미치는 영향은 양날의 검입니다. 신기술이 만드는 경제사회 위협도 있습니다. 인공지능은 의도치 않게 인류를 파괴할 수 있다는 우려도 있습니다. 이렇게 답했거든요. 어떻게 생각하시나요?
I think every technology is frankly both a tool and a weapon. It all depends on how human beings use it. And I think our role is to identify where there are risks and put in safeguards or guardrails to protect against its abuse. I think it's our role to use AI to defend against the harmful use of AI. And it's also our role to get all the benefits out of this technology, to improve education, to improve healthcare, to improve productivity in the economy. So it really is about using it as a tool and trying to protect against its use as a weapon.
이제 도구 쪽 긍정적인 측면에 맞춰서 얘기를 해주셨는데 인공지능 스스로는 그러면 어떤 부작용을 걱정하고 있는지 질문을 또 해봤습니다. 그랬더니 저는 부작용을 걱정할 필요가 없습니다. 사용자의 요청에 따라 작동합니다. 이렇게 얘기를 했거든요. 어떻게 생각하시는지요?
Well, I think it's always important to remember AI is a machine.
Yeah.
It's like looking at your calculator and asking your calculator to worry about something. The calculator doesn't worry about anything. It just performs a calculation based on, how you tap on the keys. It's the job of us as humans to worry. It's my job, our job at Microsoft to worry. It's our job to hope and then use machines to help us accomplish more. But I think it's sort of an interesting aspect of life in 2023. In some ways, it almost feels like these machines are real, but they're still machines. They're not people. They don't have hopes. They don't have dreams. They don't have worries.
회장님은 그렇게 낙관적으로 말씀을 하셨지만 많은 사람들이 뭐 공상과학 영화나 미국 드라마에서도 나오지만 인공지능이 막 인류를 위협하고 지배하는 두려운 상황이 오지 않을까 이런 얘기도 하거든요. 걱정 안 해도 될까요?
I think we are okay, but it's a very interesting point. There have been made about 100 science fiction movies that they could have all had the same title, AI Gone Bad, and they all ended with human beings unplugging the computer.
Right.
And the good news is we're not living in a science fiction movie. We're living in the real world. Now, we don't want to find ourselves in a science fiction movie, which is precisely why it's so important that we do this in an ethical way, in a responsible way. And we've been working at Microsoft on this for 6 years now, putting in place safety protections, putting in place guardrails, frankly, moving in a step-by-step iterative way. And we're going to need to keep doing that, and we're going to need laws that govern this technology as well. I think it's good that we're worrying about these things because usually the best way to avoid a problem is to think hard about it. But I don't think we should mislead ourselves into thinking that suddenly we're now part of the cast of a science fiction movie.
지금 윤리와 법률 얘기를 해주셔서 그런데 이제 한국에서는 최근에 챗 GPT 놀리기 놀이도 유행을 좀 했습니다. 이 15세기 한글을 만든 세종대왕이 컴퓨터 이제 맥북을 던지는 사건에 대해서 설명해 달라고 물었더니 너무 진지하게 이제 AI가 대답을 해서 화제거리가 되기도 했는데 이런 식으로 그럴듯한 거짓말이 퍼진다면 그럼 책임은 누가 어떻게 져야 된다고 보십니까?
I think all of us who create technology need to accept responsibility for it. And I also think we need collectively to recognize that this technology in many ways is still young. And just as it was the case when automobiles were first invented or airplanes were first invented, we will need to take the kinds of steps that very rapidly make the technology better. I also think that it's always good for people to keep thinking themselves. Think about this technology like a tool. We refer to Microsoft services as co-pilots, not autopilots. Just like people get things wrong, so will machines from time to time. So never stop thinking. Never stop asking yourself, does this make sense? And I think if we put those concepts together, young technology that will improve rapidly, but are co-pilots, not autopilots, so let's keep using our own brains, I think that's the right combination.
기술을 만든 사람한테만 맡겨놓는 데는 좀 한계가 있을 것 같습니다. 뭐 유럽연합, 중국에 이어서 미국에서도 논의가 되고 있는 걸로 알고 있는데 정부가 어디까지 어떻게 개입할 수 있다고 보시는지요?
I think no one should be above the law. No person, no company, no government, no technology. So we will need a new generation of law for a new generation of technology. The conversations about what that law should be are in some ways as young as the technology itself, and that's not a surprise. I think it's clear that we need laws that focus on what we think of as the sensitive uses, where technology could be used that would undermine somebody's safety or infringe on their rights. And we will need legal rules, and we'll need companies to follow them. And this actually has been true for technology for a century, so it's not the first time we need to figure this out, but we are going to need to figure it out for this new generation of technology as it unfolds.
그러니까 규제와 법안을 꽤 적극적으로 이제 주장을 하고 계신 걸로 제가 이해를 하는데, 최근에 또 한 가지 이제 테슬라의 일론 머스크를 비롯해서 뭐 일부 AI 전문가들은 반년 동안 뭐 그 잠시만이라도 첨단 AI 개발을 멈춰야 한다고 목소리를 내기도 했습니다. MS의 입장은 어떤가요?
I think we should ask ourselves less about what we should stop doing and ask ourselves more what we need to start doing. I would much rather use the next 6 months to speed up work with governments, to identify how we get the best value out of this technology, how we improve schools and opportunities for students, how we use it to advance healthcare, how we put new rules in place. If we just stop for 6 months, I don't think the world's going to look very different in September or October than it does today. So let's use the time and get some new things done. I think that, to me, is that's where we should really focus our energy.
이제 한국에서 많이 우려가 나오는 건 뭐 미국 사회도 그렇지만 한국 사회도 뭐 이념적으로, 정치적으로 또 경제적으로 이렇게 극과 극으로 많이 치닫고 있는 분위기입니다. 이 챗GPT, 뭐 AI가 이런 생각들을 더 치우치게 만든다거나 기술 때문에 빈부격차가 더 심해질 거라는 지적도 있거든요. 어떻게 보시는지요?
I think we have an opportunity when this technology is so new to really aspire to achieve some important goals. When I think about income inequality, I think that this new AI technology is a tool that can help people, including people with, say, less education, to be more productive, to find answers to questions more readily. When we think about polarization, I think it's right that we worry about how the technology could be abused. I think it's especially important that we think about how certain foreign adversaries might use this kind of technology to try to spread disinformation. But what we've found, especially over the last couple of years, is that this technology, AI, can also be used to identify when, say, a foreign government is seeking to spread disinformation. It can warn people, alert people, so people can think about things in advance. But fundamentally, we need to recognize that if people are trying to do bad things in the world, they will use this technology to try to advance it. We need to use this technology to defend more effectively than ever. And I think we can defend against these problems more effectively than ever by putting AI to work to advance the common good.
그렇다면 이제 한 사회 안에서 경제적 양극화 측면에서 그럼 MS가 공을 들이는 AI 서비스는 유료화는 생각 안 한다 이렇게 제가 이해를 해도 될까요?
You can assume that we will charge a very fair price, a price that will enable you, anyone, to use these services, I think, in a way that will make you more productive. Grow a business, grow your income. Think especially about what it means to live in a world or to live in a country where the population is now shrinking rather than growing. We need more power from technology. We need more productivity from technology. And the number one reason, in some ways, that Microsoft has been successful so long is because we've tried to take technology, democratize it, make it widely available, obviously sell it at a price where we make a profit, but sell it at a price that is within the reach of literally everyone, whether it's the smallest business or an individual or a family.
한국처럼 교육열이 높은 나라에서 이제 학생과 학부모들은 이 부분이 궁금할 수도 있습니다. AI가 다 답해주고 해주는데 뭐하러 공부하느냐? AI 덕분에 공부 해방 가능할 수 있을까요?
I think that's one of the most important questions for any parent of any student to ask. But I'd first say step back. 40 years ago, calculators became popular, and some people said, oh, students will no longer need to learn math. The best students use calculators to get better at math, including many people here in Korea, now do the same thing with AI.
Right.
If you want to learn another language, like English, use AI to help you. If you want to get better at math, if you want to learn to code, use AI to help you get better at doing it. The advice I give to my own children every day, they're in their 20s, is be among the first to use a service like Bing, it's free, and use it to become a better writer, to improve the grammar in what you've already written, to learn things faster. Be the first, and you will be more successful in your life. I think that's the right way to think about how to use AI. Not to stop thinking, but to think smarter.
오케이. 네. 그럼 앞으로 인공지능과 관련해서 한국에서 가장 경쟁력 있는 가능성 있는 분야는 뭐라고 보시는지 전망하시는지 궁금합니다.
Well, I think we're going to see here in Korea AI put to use in ways that I hope and believe will be of fundamental importance and value to the nation as a whole. I think it can be used by every business to improve the productivity of its workforce, to grow the company. I think we'll see it improve manufacturing, improve healthcare, improve education. I think we should see it as a tool that the government can use to protect the cybersecurity of the nation. I think that agriculture and environment and sustainability will all get better because of AI. And that should be our goal. That is our goal as a company, to put AI to use to help Korea continue to flourish.
이제 한국의 사용자 입장에서 설명을 해주셨습니다. 그러면 이제 한국 기업들 입장에서 강점을 얻을 수 있는 분야 어떻게 보시는지 있다면 마이크로소프트가 이제 이런 부분에서 한국 기업과 협력할 계획이 있으신지 구체적으로 네, 마지막으로 질문드립니다.
For almost 50 years, Microsoft has existed as a company, and we've been connected with really every part of the economy here in Korea. Korea is such an important leader, certainly in many fields of technology. In some ways, our goal, our hope, our request, if you will, is that we'll continue to have the opportunity to partner with the great companies in Korea across the economy, because we do think AI is something that will enable them to continue to be even more successful, not just here at home, but really on a global basis, where so many Korean companies are already leaders today.
특정 분야를 언급을 안 해주셔서 정말 마지막으로 여쭙겠습니다. 뭐 한국 기업들이 강점을 가지고 있다면 어떤 분야일까요? 아니면 어느 분야에서 저희가 더 또 노력을 해야 할 걸로 보이는지, 뭐 반도체 분야일지, 뭐 인터넷이라든지, 뭐 검색 분야라든지, 뭐 좀 특정해서 설명을 해주시면 더 좋을 것 같습니다.
I think Korea has a strength in many areas, but certainly it is a global leader in semiconductors, in chips, in devices. And I think that we're entering an era where the world is going to need more of all of those things. And so I think that one of the opportunities for Korea is to keep innovating in those spaces, especially in areas where we're going to see AI in greater demand and in greater use. And then I would say it's really important to couple that with the kinds of policies that Korea is already pursuing, to think about energy use and sustainability. Because all of this AI does require even more computational strength, more computing, more use of electricity, and more than ever. The world is going to need Korea and every other country to continue on this critical energy transition that I just think is vital to a greener and more sustainable future for the planet.
네, 결국 미래를 책임지는 건 AI가 아니라 이걸 만들고 쓰는 사람이라는 것, 기술의 시대를 다시 한번 돌아보는 인터뷰였습니다. 이 사람에게 더 이로운 기술로 다시 만나 뵙길 기대하겠습니다. 오늘 말씀 감사합니다. Thank you very much.
Thank you.